Lux Anguis here. Today's topic is about my understanding of the Qlipothic tree of death, or this whole Kabbalistic structure. As we are aware, ladies and gentlemen, that everything is in our system, as well as outside of our system, has a certain type of polarity to it. One could say it's a polarity of light and darkness, positive and negative, and this usual kindergarten description of good and evil. You know. And for me, this Kabbalistic structure of the SEPHIROTH and the Qlipoth is exactly like that. It is a depiction, it is a tool that you can work on with a consciousness to macrocosmically and microcosmically. That just simply means as if in, so if out, in a more broader or more elevated term, to polarize and work yourself into these grades. Because what is the Kabbalistic tree? It's basically, if you have studied it a bit or deeply, it's basically the planetary system actually. If you observe it, that each sphere represents a planetary system and a planet, and if you're aware that each planet, if you study it further, has its own dark and its own light side, so it is the same with the tree of life. It has its own dark and its own light side. And what these Kabbalistic initiations and workings try to achieve with you is that you evolve yourself in each aspect of these planetary influences inside of your being, which is also in correlation to your own inner energy centers and gateways that exist within you as well, that you basically perform rituals and basically perform some trials and tribulations in each initiatory trail, that you immensely evolve and grow yourself in this specific aspect you have initiated yourself into. So what that also means is that, this Kabbalistic of life and death, and the Qlipoth especially, is just, so to say, a map. It's a constructed map, or it is like an anchor that your own awareness, your own true will, your own consciousness could use to open up such internal as well as external gateways to such realms of negativity or positivity for the purpose of immense evolution. So it just happens to be that in this timeline, in this dimension that we are living in, this structure is known to be the Qlipoth, with its many ruling entities and deities who look over these specific negative realms and empowerments, as well as inside and outside of our whole being. In another dimension, another world, it's maybe called differently. In another country, in another culture, this whole structure is called differently, but it's basically the same with a different mask, or it's a different degree of the same thing. We could argue about that. So for me personally, when there's a tree of life, when there's the light, there will and must exist the dark as well, in some way, shape or form or another. That is just the paradox and the natural rhythm of life itself, if you have observed long enough. And that's how my understanding of the Qlipoth is just a map, certain doorways and certain opportunities that you personally can take in accordance to their own true will, instincts and belief, as well as your own inner and outer guidance that you could use and you could employ for yourself to unlock even deeper and stronger these aspects of the inner and outer reality. In this regards the negative polarity or the negative side. And also what I also want you to make aware of is that everybody already is in this system. This Kabbalistic structure is not something like pulled out of someone's ass. It's like an ancient tradition. The Qlipoth, of course, came a little bit more later to the addition, I suppose, by Isaac Luria. This was this Jewish scholar and Kabbalist who kind of tried to understand the negative or the so-called evil polarity, and he gave it a structure or understanding to it, a map to it. But I wouldn't be surprised if this type of initiation or this type of structure even existed before him, Like, I just see it that he was just a vessel. He was just a vessel for giving this other side, the Sita Akra, a name or a structure or finally a so-called more or less understanding and open doorways for people to get in, That's how I see, like, the Qlipoth already existed for millennia, since time, like these realms already existed. It's just, it happens to be that now it's the time to give it a form and give it a doorways people can consciously enter into. But it doesn't mean it didn't already existed before that. Like, I see it's already a part of us. It's already a part of our matrix, of our universe. It's just that this can help us evolve ourselves through it consciously. We're already evolving. We're already growing through it. We already are a part of it. These realms are already a part of us. It's just, it helps us to be conscious and aware of it. That's it. And the most power you will gain, and the most influence you will gain, and most guidance you will gain, of course, if you are more so aware of these type of things. Just think about it. Other than that, NAGA bless, and we shall see and hear us surely.